live and direct. Today is the memorial for one of our greatest, Dr. Mutulu Shakur, freedom fighter. We've been fighting for years. He's been fighting for us for the longest. Heard about him all through the platform. Today we wanted to speak to some of his legal folks who've been working tirelessly to get him out. Of course, we know that he was released on a compassionate release. We know there's no real compassion in the United States. However, these are the folks behind the scene we want to introduce you to. Start to the right.
I'm Teri Thompson. I represented Mutulu Shakur from 2004 to just until. I was there with him at many of the parole hearings. The last parole hearing I did with him was in Victorville, California. I was with him at ADX. I was with him at USP Atlanta at 2 different parole hearings. It might have been 3 or 4 different parole hearings. Coleman and it was Yazoo over in, I believe that's Mississippi or Louisiana. So I travel the country on behalf of Mutulu Shakur.
My name is Kleiman. I came to this part of the struggle in 2018 and I met Dr. Shakur while he was in Victorville and then followed him to Lexington.
Again, my name is Brad Thompson. Started working with Mark, joined him around 2019, early 2020, and represented Mutulu throughout those final years that he was in Lexington, and represented him at parole hearings. And Mark and I did a number of other filings, compassionate release, etc. for him.
So with the work that you all have done to support Dr. Mutulu Shakur, how was it to see him walk out the gates, and what is your take on the state of the movement?
So knowing or learning when Mutulu got released, I think I just sobbed because I had known him for so long and had been with him through many parole hearings. So that's all I could do was just shed tears. And tears of relief, obviously, for him to get home, but also I shed tears for the different levels of struggle that he went through, long before he even became an inmate. But all of the struggles he did, trying to save lives, trying to turn around the lives of young black men and women when they struggle with addiction. So those that really know Mutulu, as well as I do at least, Mutulu is much more than the inmate. He's much more than the person who's incarcerated. He is just really, truly larger than life. And to know him and to know his heart is really what brings the tears to my eyes. That's the man that I know.
Sure. What sticks most in my heart is the time that a judge denied a motion that should have set him free and that we should have won. And I was on the phone with Mutulu and I gave him the bad news, and he paused for just a second or so and he said, "How's the team taking it?" And it just hit me right here that he was more worried about us than anything else. And, thought about the team first. It was amazing.
Yeah, they ultimately let him out because he was so ill, and we had decades of legal work by Attorney Teri Thompson and others that sort of built up for that ultimate moment for that to happen. And I was fortunate enough to be there in Lexington when he got on the plane, and to see him, he was wheelchair bound for many of those final months in prison, and to see him leave the wheelchair at the prison and get out of that car and walk on his own 2 feet with the cane up onto that plane showed the will and strength and determination that I think we've all heard about, and we all heard about today, and we all have known for years about the insurmountable power and strength that he has, and that I think is continuing to inspire people and will continue to inspire people for generations. I think the power of his legacy will live on for many more years.
Sure.
Right on. We definitely appreciate your work. What can, it's inspiring. Many of us have been fighting for political prisoners for decades, and there was a time when we didn't think anyone was coming home because hardly anyone was coming home. How do you all feel about, this whole quote-unquote judicial system as a whole? We know it's flawed. Does it look promising based on Dr. Mutulu Shakur's case, or how do you all feel?
Well, Mark just last week got Michelle McGee out of prison, one of the longest serving political prisoners in the United States.
We definitely need to talk about that because we actually we've been in touch with Claude and we're looking to bring him on. So hopefully we can bring you on to talk about it.
That'd be great. And I'd like to talk to Rochelle about bringing him on.
Let's make it happen.
That'd be awesome.
So we got two for here. I appreciate you all coming out, and hopefully we can bring you on again to talk to us. And, thanks for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's an honor.
We're here at Black Power Media. Like I said, this is the Dr. Mutulu Shakur Memorial.
It was a great
And we're going to get a number of different folks coming on. Next up, we have one of our favorite hip-hop artists in the building. He's going to join us and talk to us about why he's here today. So stay tuned. A whole lot of people here. If you haven't checked out the memorial, it's online at Black Power Media or blackpowermedia.org on YouTube. Excuse me. And we've been working hard. Shout out to my man, Minister Server, who's on camera work right now. But of course, we know that he's always holding the line.